They say age is just a number, and these stars and celebrities would no doubt agree. But do things get weird once the kids get involved? It's probably fair to say that Nicolas Cage is well-versed in matrimony, considering he's been married 5 times. His list of exes includes such familiar names as Patricia Arquette and the late Lisa Marie Presley. In 2021, Cage wed his 5th wife, Riko Shibata, in a modest ceremony in a Las Vegas hotel, about a year after they met in Japan. In a statement issued to People magazine, Cage said, "It's true and we are very happy." In September 2022, the newlyweds welcomed a daughter named August Francesca. This was the 3rd child for Cage, who was 58 years old when she was born, and the first for 27-year-old Shibata.
What are you looking forward to most?
I want to learn, I want to learn, yeah.
Cage is also the father of 2 sons, Weston Coppola Cage, born in 1990, and Kal-El Coppola Cage, who arrived in 2005. Making Cage's oldest son a few years older than his wife. Cage has made sure to alleviate any concerns about the age gap between him and Shibata. In an interview with Flaunt, Cage dismissed the unfortunate stereotype of a young Asian wife acting subserviently toward a husband 30 years her senior. He insisted, "That's not me and Riko. Her getting me coffee, waiting on me, or some kind of servitude. And that's not been my experience with other Asian women, abroad or here." Dennis Quaid has been around the block a few times over the years. In fact, the actor has walked down the aisle no fewer than 4 times. Quaid's 3 ex-wives are actor-director PJ Soles, When Harry Met Sally star Meg Ryan, and real estate agent Kimberly Buffington. In 2020, 66-year-old Quaid said "I do" to his 4th wife, Laura Savoie, who was just 27 at the time. Speaking about their wedding, Quaid told People, "Just looking into her eyes, she was the most stunning bride." Quaid is also the father of 3 kids, twins Thomas and Zoe, who were born in 2007 during his marriage to Buffington, as well as Jack Quaid, who was born to Dennis and then-wife Meg Ryan back in April 1992. This, of course, makes Jack a year older than his dad's latest wife. Addressing the 39-year age gap between him and Savoie, Dennis Quaid has insisted it's not a big deal for either of them. He told The Guardian, "I didn't go out looking for an age gap or someone really younger than me. I met her at a business event and then the relationship developed. I don't fall in love easy, but I can't let what a few people think control all that." David Foster is a firm believer in the institution of marriage, which is evident from the fact that he's gone to the altar 5 times in his life. Most recently, the acclaimed music producer married American Idol alum Katherine McPhee, with the lavish wedding taking place in London in 2019. In 2021, the couple welcomed a son, marking the 6th child for Foster, who had already raised daughters Allison, Amy, Sarah, Erin, and Jordan.
We're enjoying doing it together.
Yeah, it's kind of different now, at this age.
Do you find that your parenting is different?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm more helicopter now.
All but one of Foster's daughters is older than McPhee, who turned 39 in 2023. In a January 2023 interview with People, the then 73-year-old Foster addressed the reality of raising a toddler during your twilight years. He said, "At this point in my life, it's different again. Not better or worse, just different. I still work, I'm still gone a lot, but maybe the time is a little more precious to me because I got more runway behind me than I have ahead of me now." The 34-year age difference hasn't been an issue for the couple, however. In fact, the oft-divorced Foster told People that he'd identified 10 specific factors that can wreck a marriage, including geography, money, and infidelity. He explained, "Only one of the 10 is an age difference, so if we feel like we have the other 9 right, that we're really solid on the other 9, the one is not going to break us up." Clint Eastwood, who turned 93 in May 2023, is the father of 8 children by several different women. These range from his first child, born in 1954 and given up for adoption, to his youngest, Morgan Eastwood, whom he shares with ex-wife Dina Ruiz, a woman 35 years his junior. The couple separated in 2013 after 17 years of marriage. She's since remarried. The exes first met when Ruiz, a television host, interviewed Eastwood in 1993. As Ruiz told Daily Mail prior to their separation, she initially tried to set Eastwood up with her mother, but that particular attempt at matchmaking never took. It wasn't until a year later, when she and Eastwood wound up sitting together at a social function, that sparks flew. She recalled, "It was bizarre. We started holding hands underneath the table and just never let go." Despite Eastwood's status as a massive movie star and an Oscar-winning director, Ruiz admitted that the age difference initially proved to be a huge stumbling block for her parents. She recalled, "My parents weren't starstruck when they met him, as they were more concerned about the age difference, but it's hard not to love him. He's so genial and so cute with a great sense of humor. He defies age." Rod Stewart was quite the ladies' man during his rock star heyday, romancing the likes of model Kelly Emberg and Swedish movie star Britt Ekland. He's also been married 3 times, fathering 8 children with 5 different women along the way. Sir Rod apparently gets along swimmingly with all his kids' assorted mothers, judging by a photo that his ex-girlfriend Emberg shared on Instagram, featuring him with his ex-wives Alana Stewart and Rachel Hunter, as well as his current wife, Penny Lancaster Stewart. Rod Stewart's first child was born in 1963, nearly a decade before Penny Lancaster Stewart, who was born in 1971. Given that her husband celebrated his 78th birthday in January 2023, that puts the age gap between the spouses at 26 years.
You know, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm 74. You people going mad.
Darling, you're 75.
Notably, because Stewart hadn't been married to his previous wives long enough to experience them entering menopause, it wasn't until his 3rd marriage that he finally witnessed its effects. In an interview with Reader's Digest, he recalled, "I hadn't seen the menopause before because my marriages didn't last that long. So Penny was the first, but she would get into blinding fits of rage. One night she threw utensils, so me and the boys gave her a hug. And since then, she's worked to let people know what it is. And men have to understand and not just go down the pub." William Shatner is a Canadian treasure and a sci-fi icon. He has also been married and divorced 4 times. Shatner is the father of 3 daughters, all resulting from his first marriage. His oldest daughter, Leslie, celebrated her 64th birthday in August 2022, which makes her several months older than Shatner's 4th ex-wife, Elizabeth Martin. Shatner filed for divorce from Martin in 2019, and the exes finalized the divorce in 2020 after 18 years of marriage, with Shatner reportedly paying her a lump sum settlement of $2 million. Asked if he was saddened by the divorce, Shatner offered a surprising response. He told the Mirror, "Nothing makes me sad at this age." Interestingly, 3 years later, Shatner and his ex-wife got back together. In January 2023, 2 months before his 92nd birthday, Shatner told the Mirror, "My wife, she is the zest of life. She brings the flavor." Maybe this didn't come as much of a surprise, though. In a 2021 interview with The Guardian, Shatner revealed that he and his ex-wife were still living together in the same house. Asked to elaborate on the relationship, he replied, "That's a long story. I don't know if this is an appropriate time to get into the reasoning, but I've done something really nice." When asked if they'd gotten undivorced, Shatner said cryptically, "Well, that's always hanging there and that makes the relationship really good. Maybe that's the explanation and I've found the solution." Dolph Lundgren rocketed to fame when he played Russian boxer Ivan Drago in Sylvester Stallone's Rocky IV, before carving out his own career as a big-screen action hero. In July 2023, the 65-year-old actor tied the knot with fiancée Emma Krokdal, aged 27. Lundgren is also the father of 2 daughters, and the oldest, Ida, is the same age as his new wife. Despite an age difference of nearly 40 years, the two hit it off after meeting in a Hollywood gym.
So she's quite mature, and I think I'm, at the same time, I think quite youthful.
As Lundgren told Muscle and Health, his daughters get along wonderfully with his new bride. He said, "They are happy when I am happy." TV legend Dick Van Dyke was married to ex-wife Margie Willett for 36 years, but they divorced in 1984. During their marriage, the couple had 4 children, sons Christian and Barry, born in 1950 and 51 respectively, and daughters Stacy and Carrie, who were born in 1955 and 1961. In 2012, Van Dyke married for a second time to Arlene Silver. At the time, the groom was 86, while the bride was 40, more than a decade younger than her husband's youngest child, and 2 decades younger than his oldest. While the 46-year age gap between the newlyweds certainly raised eyebrows, Van Dyke's publicist told ABC News, despite their obvious age difference, Dick has never been happier. She brings a lot of light into his life. Van Dyke certainly concurred with that assessment of his marriage. In 2022, after 10 years of marriage, he told the Malibu Times, "She is the best wife. She's made me the happiest man in the world. Our life is so good together."
Engage!
Patrick Stewart divorced his first wife, Sheila Falconer, in 1990 after 24 years of marriage. They had 2 children born in 1967 and 1972. Stewart eventually remarried, tying the knot with producer Wendy Nuss in 2000, before the pair split up in 2003. In 2013, he married for a 3rd time, walking down the aisle with jazz singer Sonny Ozell. A few eyebrows were raised about the age of his new bride, who is 39 years younger than Stewart and younger than both of his children. Perhaps most awkwardly, Ozell's father is actually 5 years younger than his own son-in-law, who celebrated his 83rd birthday in July 2023. Stewart admitted in an interview with the Scottish Mail on Sunday that his wife's dad was initially not thrilled to see his daughter marrying someone so much older. However, it seems things have softened since, and Stewart noted that the situation has led to some surreal moments. He recalled, "He rings me up and says, 'Hey son, it's your father here.'" For Ozell, the 39-year age gap between the two has turned out to be completely irrelevant. She explains, "He is so youthful, and I guess I'm kind of an old worrywart, so we bridge the gap. It doesn't come up much. He's in better shape than me, which infuriates me." Playboy mogul Hugh Hefner was married 3 times. He tied the knot with his third and final wife, Crystal Harris, on New Year's Eve in 2012, with the two remaining wed until his death in 2017. At the time of the nuptials, the groom was 86 and the bride was 26, making for a sizable 60-year age gap. Prior to that, Hef had been married to Kimberly Conrad in 1989, when she was 26 and he was 63. That marriage lasted until 2009, when Hefner filed for divorce. The union produced 2 sons, Marston and Cooper. During his first marriage to Mildred Williams, Hefner fathered 2 children, Christy and David. The former was born in 1952, the latter in 1955. As a result, Hefner managed to marry not just one woman younger than his oldest child, but 2. In a statement she gave to People magazine after Hefner's death in 2017, Harris downplayed the 6-decade difference in their ages. She said, "I felt how much he loved me. I loved him so much. I am so grateful. He gave me life. He gave me direction. He taught me kindness. I will feel eternally grateful to have been by his side, holding his hand, and telling him how much I love him. He changed my life. He saved my life. He made me feel loved every single day."